Hello, welcome to CCCC Library's series on enhancing your research skills. In this video, we'll explore the different methods used for research in the humanities. We'll be discussing 3 different types of analysis that you're likely to encounter: conceptual analysis, textual analysis, and historical analysis. Research in the humanities is difficult to define because it spans a wide range of subjects and topics. Humanities research is very interdisciplinary, meaning it is relevant to more than one discipline. Some of the subject areas commonly covered in humanities research are religion, philosophy, language and linguistics, history, literature, and fine arts, which includes drama, music, and visual arts. Humanities research focuses not only on discovering new information, but on reinterpreting and analyzing existing works. Fields like sociology, psychology, and legal studies often overlap with humanities. After all, the humanities are dedicated to exploring those concepts and ideas that give us our humanity, so it can span a very broad range of topics and disciplines. Here are 3 types of analysis used in the humanities research: conceptual analysis, textual analysis, and historical analysis. Let's start with conceptual analysis. Conceptual analysis in the humanities involves breaking down complex ideas, such as freedom, into their fundamental components to gain a clear understanding of their meanings and uses across different contexts. For instance, in philosophy, freedom can be examined through different lenses, including negative freedom, such as the absence of external constraints, and positive freedom, such as the capacity to act on one's own will. By dissecting the concept, exploring underlying assumptions, and comparing various perspectives, researchers can construct a nuanced definition that integrates these diverse interpretations. For example, philosopher Immanuel Kant said, "All that is required for this enlightenment is freedom." And Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "We are our choices." Comparing different viewpoints refines understanding, which can then be applied to broader contexts, enriching discussions in fields like political theory, law, and ethics. The second type of analysis is textual analysis. There are 2 types of textual analysis: discourse analysis and close reading. Discourse analysis examines the way people use language in an attempt to identify patterns or trends from which meaning can be drawn. One example would be collecting and analyzing newspaper advertisements from the past 100 years to determine the most used marketing phrases by era. You may see several methods for completing discourse analysis. These can include analysis of word frequency, collocation, or words commonly appearing next to each other, the evolution of language over time, and even how a story is constructed. Close reading is another type of textual analysis. This unique research type involves the detailed and meticulous reading of a specific text and drawing conclusions about meaning based on your interpretation of that text. One example would be analyzing Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre from a feminist lens. A few typical methods for completing this type of analysis can include extensive reading and rereading, interpretation of texts based on a specific lens, like a political or gender-based lens, or the historical context of the text. The third type of analysis is historical analysis. The historical method is a way of conducting research by collecting and analyzing primary sources. Primary sources were created during the historical period being researched. Analyzing primary sources allows you to further understand any given era in history. Historical research sources can be physical resources like ruins or remains, oral resources like stories passed down culturally, visual resources like images or pictures, or written resources like diaries, laws, or even tweets. This method is used most commonly in the field of history, but it can overlap with fields like psychology, sociology, anthropology, or political science. Research is an important part of the humanities. Now you know to look for conceptual analysis, textual analysis, and historical analysis when you are locating, interpreting, and evaluating the information that you find. Thank you for watching. If you need more resources or have any questions, feel free to reach out to the library. Happy researching and good luck with your projects.